Hello there, Nokorab here, and we are back in the in-between for another Dev Diary video showing off some stuff for new in town dimensions. Once again, the stuff we'll be showing in this Dev Diary is already implemented in new in town dimensions in the pre-release that you are able to download right now on Planet Minecraft. There will be more beta content available for beta testers in the Discord, so you can join the Discord to learn how to get involved in that. But for the moment, a lot of time right now is being spent on bug fixing for this and for the base new in town following the 1.17 update. I want to first apologize real quick for all of the bug fixes that have had to be coming out these last few days. Obviously, the 1.17 update was pretty drastic in terms of changes, all minor changes, but pretty significant in quantity. And of course, ending up with such a huge data pack, such a huge update, I'm just not able to test everything. So there had to be, a few things that had to be fixed after the 1.17 update and after the new in town 2.6 update. But I hope all the new content has been making up for that. Just today, at the time of recording, we released a new structure called the Doom Pump, or I released, I should say, new structure called the Doom Pump. Really cool structure for the counter-offensive that is compatible with the popular Incendium data pack for the Nether. So definitely check that out. When it comes to dimensions, though, things are looking pretty cool. We're going to take a look now at the buried ocean today. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We will take a look and see how long it takes us to explore some of the biomes here. We may take a look at seafarers today. If so, I did bring this fleet manifest with me already, but that may be for the next Dev Diary video, so we will worry about that in the future. So of course, coming into the buried ocean, your portal is going to more often than not spawn in the middle of an ocean. On the surface, always, it's always going to spawn at the same height, even if you do end up landing on land. But by chance, we actually ended up next to a structure here, this floating island. So this is one of the structures here that you can find in the buried ocean. But let's take a look at the surrounding area. Oh, there's one over there too. So this is the deep dark sea biome. It is notable for being dark and being deep. We've got some stalagmites and stalactites all across the dimension here, but the deep dark sea biome is going to be one of the main ones that you can find them in, just to kind of add some variety here. Mostly made of blackstone, as is the base stone for the whole dimension, but we've got some andesite stone and deep slate mixed in, and then for the stalagmites and stalactites, of course, we've got some dripstone mixed in as well. No pointed dripstone here, just the normal dripstone, at least for now. There'll probably be a whole biome at some point that has some dripstone, but I want to wait for a few more 1.18 features before I start working on that. The deep dark sea biome is also notable for having ores down on the seafloor. Let's come down here and take a look. We'll go ahead and put some night vision on briefly. So in the buried ocean biome, ores don't generate in the blackstone for the most part. They can generate in the regular stone types, and of course if they generate in deep slate, it'll be deep slate ore. But for the most part, because of that, there aren't a ton of ores that you can mine normally. It looks like I've got a little bit over there, some redstone. The ore distribution is, of course, very different because it has a ceiling and a floor here in this dimension, so this whole middle section might not have very much ore, but some biomes it will. And we'll take a look at that in the future, or later on in the video. But in the deep dark sea biome, as well as a few other sea biomes, we've got these nice little kind of collections of ores that are kind of sitting on the seafloor. So they come in varying rarities. Coal and iron, of course, going to be pretty common ones. You've got redstone, not terribly uncommon. Gold is going to appear somewhat regularly, not as much as those three. You can get these piles of crying obsidian as well as normal obsidian, blackstone. Sometimes you can get quartz blocks here. So that's pretty cool. Deep slate as well, I think, can generate in columns, or at least take over some of the columns. There's some obsidian we've got right here. Oh, some gold, excellent. Lapis lazuli is not going to be terribly uncommon, and you can even get clusters of diamond. Not super duper common. I believe it's a 1 in 100 chance for any particular pile to be diamond, but it can happen. So this is going to be your main way of getting ores in the buried ocean if you need to, which of course means you're going to want to mine underwater pretty frequently. To do that, you can, I'm going to actually real quick set a teleport point right here so we can come back here later. TP, there we go. Hey there! If you're enjoying this video, please remember to leave a like and share with your friends, and to subscribe to keep an eye on when new videos come out. If you want to get involved with the community, you can join our Discord server, where you can also learn how to get involved with the New in Town Dimensions beta release for 1.17, or you can follow me on Twitter. With all that, thank you so much for watching, and back to the show. Okay, to do that, you're going to want to, of course, build a conduit, and there's a lot of things to help you build conduits in this dimension. First of all, because the whole dimension is dark, of course, there's a ceiling. We do have the sea lanterns up top, which I think look absolutely gorgeous. Let's grab some milk real quick. I think the sea lanterns on the ceiling look absolutely gorgeous and just add to the ethereal kind of mood for this dimension. But you also have tons of drowned. Oh wow, I wonder how rare this is. A drowned with a trident and a nautilus shell. That is crazy. Because you get tons of drowned in this, or because the dimension is so dark and has so much water, you get tons of drowned. It's a very dangerous dimension. It's not uncommon for you to find tridents, or drowned that have tridents. In fact, oh my gosh, there's 2 more right here. Crazy. The odds for having tridents has not been increased. It's just because there are so many drowned, it's just so much more common that you're able to find drowned that have tridents. Similarly, their drop chances have not been increased for this dimension. It's just a matter of odds. And, you know, more opportunities means more opportunities. That's kind of just straightforward how it goes. So yes, because there's more drowned, you can find more tridents. You can also find more nautilus shells. And then there's lots of ways to get hearts of the sea. This is one of them, actually, the floater island right here. So you can see down here, it's got some of these coral kind of bubbles down here that are supposed to be kind of holding it up. Very Subnautica type feel to it. And if we come in here, we've got a nice little pond, lots of turtle eggs on this island, and 1 turtle. We got jungle trees, cocoa beans, sea lanterns, all that good stuff. But if you dig right here, I believe, nope, right here, and you can find this chest. It is a trap chest, and it's got this TNT here, so you want to be careful. We'll go ahead and just break that now. But these trap chests are always going to be buried treasure chests. So it's the same loot table as buried treasure, which means you're always going to get a heart of the sea, as well as some other pretty decent stuff. So that's one way. Of course, you've got 2 floater islands here, so you can get hearts of the sea pretty regularly here. So the nautilus shells are going to be your main thing you're looking for. You can find lots of shipwrecks in the buried ocean, as well as, very rarely, ghost ships, like this one right here, made of warped woods and materials. We got strays here that are ghost crewmates. They are a little more powerful than normal strays, but they still got their bows and arrows and slowness and stuff. And this is basically just a ghost ship. So they do have unique drops. If we go ahead, grab a sword and kill them. Come on. There we go, see, he's much harder. That was the captain too, so he's a little bit harder. Oh, he dropped 2 hearts of the sea, that's crazy. As well as phantom membrane, so a great way to get phantom membrane in bulk without having to fight a bunch of phantoms. You can also find it in these chests, as well as enchanted books, hearts of the sea again. You can find nautilus shells in here sometimes, and as well as a couple of other. This is, of course, the treasure chest for this ship, so the other chests are going to have slightly different loot, as well as the crewmates that are down here. Still pretty hard, but they're not going to hold quite as much or as valuable goods. So you got a little bit of phantom membrane in here, some warp stems, nothing too crazy. A couple more crewmates down here. Oh my gosh, they all just decided to have a party down here. Diamonds you can still find pretty regularly down here, or not rarely down here. Let's go ahead and take care of these, and they can sometimes drop diamonds. Pretty good odds looking like for this particular run, but the captain's going to have the best odds of valuable goods. I think the ghost ship looks really cool. It's got some packed ice, or blue ice here, I think. Packed ice. A lot of these banners here to kind of look like torn sails. I think it looks pretty cool. But ghost ships are pretty rare. Most of the time you're going to find actually shipwrecks, and they are just going to kind of be floating still in the water. Let's see if we can find one. Ooh, another floater island. Take a look around. Structures in the buried ocean are pretty common right now. They'll probably be a little less common in the future. But right now they're pretty, very rare. Let's see if this is a completed one or not. So Yep. Wow. Very rare structure right here. You can find incomplete conduits very rarely in any sea biome in the buried ocean. And even more rarely, you can find completed conduits like this one, which is really awesome. Great way to kind of get started and get some mining done here in the buried ocean if you happen to find a lot of valuable ores on the seafloor. This is very exceptional to find. Let's see, we got more floater islands over there. We'll go over to this biome over here. This is a pristine sea. So a little bit higher, not as deep as the deep dark sea, and of course much brighter. We've got lots more sea lanterns on the floor, little columns or piles of sea lanterns on the floor, a lot more kelp because it's brighter. A little more seagrass, although seagrass has some weird tech to it, so it doesn't always spawn very commonly. You can also get prismarine and clay from here pretty commonly. Floater islands, same odds as normal. This is a sandbar biome, more so meant to be just to kind of break up the difference occasionally in the deep dark sea, pristine sea. So it's much, much higher, quite near the surface of the water. Still has the same block piles, same odds as the deep dark sea, but it's obviously got a lot less going on with it. I believe dolphins can spawn here, but we may have too many fish around for them to spawn right now. Or I may be remembering wrong. Let's continue looking around the deep dark, or the pristine sea. We've got these waterfalls, of course. Those are pretty common across all biomes. I think they're more common in the pristine sea, but not by too much. If we keep looking around here, that is another biome we'll take a look at in a second, but I'd like to find a shipwreck real quick. They're fairly common, so I'm surprised I haven't found one yet. Oh, another ghost ship. Oh my gosh. What are the odds? Let's see here. We do have all these obsidian pillars, or, icebergs popping out of the water pretty commonly here. Glow lichen is going to be all over this dimension to kind of help light it up a bit. In the pristine sea, you can also get icebergs of sea lanterns instead. They do still have sometimes snow on them. There's not really any way to prevent that for some reason. Here's one of our shipwrecks. They look pretty similar to overworld shipwrecks. This one has some prismarine kind of infecting it. That's kind of cool. Not infecting it, but in the middle of it. Let's come over here to the chest back here. You're going to get more apples here because they're very useful for the Seafarers expansion that you can do here, which we'll take a look at probably at this rate in the next dev diary, as well as just fish, string, normal boat stuff, and logs, which again are useful for... Oh, this one's empty. And I think there's one more. Yes, we've got the loot one up here, which got buckets, iron, gold, enchanted books, diamonds, normal stuff, height of the sea sometimes. Nautilus shells you can get in there too. Let's come over here to these two biomes, which are the Mystic Shelf, which is this kind of shallow water right here, which leads into the Mystic Ruffs. I think these biomes look absolutely magical. You've got these beautiful floating end rods all around here, kind of adds a mystical vibe to these biomes, which is why they're called the Mystic Shelf and Mystic Ruffs. The purple water just looks gorgeous. Got tons of crying obsidian down when the water gets deep enough, and you've got these shelves here of small beaches with grass and allium, as well as endermites. And endermen can spawn in both of these biomes. Oh, cool, a floating island right in the Mystic Shelf. That looks sweet. Mystic Shelf, not too much going on for it right now. We've got these cool acacia trees going on here with crying obsidian mixed in, or sea lanterns to kind of keep it light but not bright. You do, I've said, of course, get endermen here, and they can and will fight with the endermites that spawn here, which I think is really cool touch to this biome. There's not too much else going on here. There will be in the future. Right now you can see the beginnings. We've got tons of caves, I will say. There's a good amount of land below the ocean floor and a little bit above in the ceiling. But if we take a look around, we can get amethyst geodes in here. That's pretty standard for all land biomes in this dimension. But right over here, this is going to be our little hint for what is coming to this biome. We have an Ender Stronghold, which I think looks really cool. There's not a whole lot of reason that you would need to go to the end from the buried ocean, so it is mostly for lore purposes. But the portal room is the only one that is done right now. This is the only biome that they appear in, so there's no need for Eyes of Ender. You just have to kind of stumble upon them, and there will be, they'll expand and go up and down some, so they can sometimes break the surface, of course. But this is all that's implemented right now, and I think that's perfectly fine. Lots of geodes here, very common, a little more common than in the overworld these days. But if we come back around over here, let's take a look at the next biome, which is the crawling caverns. Crawling caverns, of course, covered in spider webs. We got gravel, really cool gravel collapse right there. That's neat. Skeletons and creepers can spawn rarely, but it's going to be mostly spiders and the occasional cave spider. So they'll spawn in clusters and have a bunch of gilded gold or gilded blackstone as their ore around here, as well as the normal stuff that's going to spawn in the stone where it's able to. This is one of the structures for the only structure I should say for the crawling caverns. It is a spider den. Big host of bridges and scaffolding and wood stuff. The cobwebs do float just because I don't mind it. But you've got spawners that will spawn actually more powerful spiders. They have some potion effects going about them. So let's see if we can get one spawning here to kind of show you. They should have potion effects anyway. I don't know why they don't. Regardless, we got spider spawners, cave spider spawners for these spider dens here. And then we've got basically just minecart chests right now. Minecart loot for these chests here. I'm not really, or these are definitely placeholder loot right now. I'll expand on it more in the future, but obviously this is a pre-release, so there's still lots to do and explore. I'm pretty sure I didn't make new loot for these, so it should have the chance for glowberries at this point, but maybe I did do different loot. Regardless, this is just what breaks the surface. Most of the spider den is actually going to be down below, and it can be very, very complex, winding. Let's take a look actually from the perspective of actually playing the game. So if we come through here, we take a look right here, we've got some ladders. This one goes down, looks like it's got a little flooded, but if we come on down here, we've got another spawner right here, even more ladders going even further down, leading into other bridges that go elsewhere, or can go elsewhere. Sometimes they'll be dead ends. This one leads to just a spawner. If we go down even further, we've got a dead end right there, and this is a dead end from the bottom perspective. If we come along, let's see, go back up here, and let's see if we can find another good ladder going downwards. Here's one. Oh, nope, that one does not go downwards, actually. They're very windy, and you can, of course, bounce and jump between whatever you feel like. You skip levels and stuff. You don't have to use the ladders. The ladders are just there for, the structural integrity, so to speak. If we come up here, yeah, so that's a dead end. So very complex, can be rewarding structures. There is, some of these chests do have end city loot, so they can be pretty powerful, but no elytra or anything like that currently. It's mostly just placeholder loot. So that'll be expanded upon in the future. Let's go this way and see if we can find another deep dark sea biome, find the coolest structure, I think, for this dimension, and then we'll go take a look at the other biomes and structures that you can find. This is a dark sea biome, same level as the Pristine Sea, and same effects and stuff, structures as the deep dark sea. It is just, of course, less deep than the deep dark sea. So you can see there the hill transition from the dark sea to the deep dark sea. Here's a chicken, which this baby drowned must have spawned on. Here we go. So this is the Chandelier structure, which is native, I believe, only to the deep dark sea, possibly dark sea as well, I'm not sure. I don't recall off the top of my head. Definitely an endgame structure. It can have potentially up to, very rarely, but potentially up to like 5 evokers. Not to mention, this stalagmite decided to break straight through there. That's pretty cool. Not to mention occasionally an illusioner as well. There's 4 different kinds of base sections, and then I believe 4 or 5 different arm sections. Sometimes can be empty, sometimes can have evokers, pretty decent loot. enchanted books, crossbows. I believe in boss chests you can even get totems of undying. But of course the main reason you'd want to come here is to fight the evokers and get their totems of undying. Not amazing loot in all these chests. Depends on the kind of structure that you get, and the kind of arms, I should say, that you get. But you can get Eyes of Ender. Spectral arrows are not a bad thing. Crossbows are pretty cool to have. You've got, of course, the brewing stands. Emeralds you can occasionally get. And, of course, there's different arms that have more valuable loot in them, too. So that is the main reason you want to come to the Deep Dark Sea, is to take on a Chandelier, get some Totems of Undying from the Evokers, fight Illusioners, and get some okay to decent loot. There's much better loot, of course, in other biomes here in this dimension. Let's see. I don't know that we want to fly around forever, so let's go ahead and do some locate biome stuff here. Buried Ocean. Let's go to the Mushroom Eyelets next. Oh, I should probably put command or feedback back on. True, there we go. And Mushroom Eyelets. Hey, there we go. The Mushroom Eyelets biome, fairly common and fairly safe. I believe the only mobs that can spawn here are mushrooms. However, depending on how your mushroom eyelets generate, you can get some beaches around the border, and that can get absolutely mobbed by spiders and skeletons and creepers. Oh, yep, just like right here. So yeah, you've got a decent amount of hostile mobs here at the border that are ready to attack you as soon as you plan to leave. So leaving by boat is going to be the best way to go about this. You got some amethyst geodes up here that can occasionally break the surface. Same with the water. We got dolphins down here. And then you got mushrooms on land occasionally when it's lit up well enough by the shroom lights by these mushrooms. There's nothing else going on here, mostly just a safe biome to hang out in. You can get some ores down here, but again, they're not going to be super common, especially for it being such a safe biome. There's not going to be a whole lot of reward to come here besides being safe. Let's go to another safe biome. I think we'll go to the Verdant Grove here, and then we should be getting pretty close to the end of biome lists. So Verdant Grove is going to be surrounded by a continental shelf, pretty similar to the sandbar, just a nice little transition from the deeper oceans up to the land biomes that are over here. So of course the Verdant Grove, as you can see, is a lush caves kind of stand-in. So we got all kinds of vegetation and plant life going on here. Moss and grass and drip leaves and flowering azalea. I might even actually change these leaves to be azalea leaves and flowering azalea leaves. I think that'd be pretty cool. We've got, vines, glow vines coming down from the ceiling. You can get spore blossoms from overhangs when they generate here. Of course, most of the ceiling does get covered by moss, so you're not going to get a lot of spore blossoms there for some reason. I can't really figure out, but we saw one back there, so you can see that it does happen. Here's one over here. Wonder if they only spawn on like dirt and something. That's weird. Emeralds are going to be fairly common-ish here, and they're going to be in this middle section. So you want to find these nice cliff faces here if you want to find emerald. And then you can get different ore distribution here than in the normal buried ocean biomes. Oh, got some more spore blossoms here, so that's pretty cool. Good way to get those in 1.17 since they're unobtainable otherwise. But otherwise, again, just a pretty safe biome. The reward here is definitely the safety and the lush stuff, but you can get copper, coal, emerald here. So there's the emerald in particular is a really good reason to want to come here. But again, just like in the rest of the buried ocean, it's only going to spawn in stone, and again, only in this middle section here. So you want to look for cliffs, and you want to look for stone in those cliffs to find the emerald. Of course, lots of clay. You have these nice clay lowlands, and then big lakes of nice blue water. You can get glow squids in any biome in the buried ocean. It's going to be a little less common right here because most of this low area is going to be filled with clay instead of stone types. But you can get them, especially as well underground if there's any... Ooh, don't want to do that. if there's any water down there. Yes, there's a glow squid. And then this is the only buried ocean biome where you can get axolotls. So definitely a cool reason to come here if you want some axolotls in the buried ocean. Of course, you could just transport them here with a bucket. If we come up here as well, of course, all these caves are going to be just as lush, or more or less just as lush as the central cavern area. Alrighty, let's move on then to a new biome. Check the list here. I think we're getting pretty close to being done. Yep, so there's basically just the ancient sea left. So let's come on over here. Oh, not what I wanted. There we go. Okay, so we got this deep dark sea right over here, and then that takes us to this transition biome, the ancient sea edge, this stark cliff that then, of course, reveals, oh my gosh, guardians. There's guardians all over this biome, not related to structures, not bound to ocean monuments. They just are very common here, so it can be very dangerous to travel here to the ancient sea edge by water. And then, of course, the ancient sea edge transitions. We got these dark prismarine pillars, icebergs here, kind of at this border biome, almost like bars, almost like they're trying to block something from escaping or potentially entering. And then we get to the ancient sea. Let's once again go ahead and drink some potions of night vision and pop on down below. Come on down here. So at the ancient sea floor, we've got these clusters of prismarine bricks, wet sponges, dark prismarine. We've got prismarine in the floor. No sea lanterns here. And then you've got all kinds of ores here peppering the sea floor surface. What you can also find here, and we'll see if one stands out notably or not, it should be fairly common, but we will see, unless I changed it. I might have changed it, but I don't think I did. You can get some caves here. Not super duper common anymore because they aren't as filled with water, but they do occasionally pop up. Let's see. Not finding any. Let's see. No, I'm having a little bit of trouble. Ancient debris is fairly common here. Usually it can be fairly visible too, but I appear to be missing it just a little bit. Oh, there's one. Fantastic. So you can find ancient debris fairly commonly in this biome, and it is not terribly uncommon to find it exposed like that. Occasionally you can even find it just sitting here on the surface. Oh, yep, there's one right there. So really great place to come to gather a bunch of ancient debris. The ancient sea is also the biome where you're going to find ruined conduits a lot more, and completed conduits slightly more than you would in any other biome. You can also still find shipwrecks here, but the main structure that you'd want to find when you're coming to the ancient sea is the ancient tower. So let's see if we can hunt one down. The ancient sea biomes are large-ish. Oh, yep, there's a ruined conduit. So this is what they'll appear like more commonly. You'll find this a lot more often than a completed conduit. Just a couple of nice rings, nothing in the middle. So yeah, let's keep looking around. Ancient towers are not super rare. The odds are turned down just a little bit, so they're not completely covering the biome. But we should be able to find one here. Come over to these new chunks and see. Got two shipwrecks very close to each other. That's a little absurd. Oh my goodness, are we not going to find one? Ah, here we go. This is a pretty good ancient tower, not too branchy. They can have tons and tons of branches, for sure. They can really expand outward. But let's go ahead and put on some night vision again and take a look in here. So the foundation is always going to be the same. You've got your entrance right there, which we'll take a look at in a second. Of course, you can see there's an elder guardian in there, and then this nice large base right here that goes a little bit deeper down below the seafloor. And then you've got this tower that stretches up, and this part's going to be fairly random every time. There's a couple of different pieces here. They can have branches, so definitely a good structure to find several of, to explore and get different kinds of loot. let's go ahead and inside and take a look at the kinds of loot that we can find. So we've got an Elder Guardian here. He's going to be just a normal Elder Guardian, not going to spawn, or not going to drop any unique loot. If we go ahead and take care of him real quick. Come on, there we go. So just normal stuff, prismarine shard, prismarine crystals, sponge. But we do have some loot chests up here. So up on all these 3 shelves, we've got some loot. Can have emeralds, sponges, enchanted books, prismarine, and this book, the Buried Histories, Volume 4 is this one. So let's take a look here. So these Buried Histories books are going to basically be the account of, or tell the story of, a trial that took place here, like a court trial, and give some explanation to why this buried tower is here, what it was used for, and add a little bit of extra lore to something that's been in Newentown for a long time. So definitely really cool to explore these ancient towers and collect these Buried Histories books. In fact, if we take a look here in the Buried Ocean, so we've discovered an aquatic tower of the rare ancient sea. We haven't got this advancement yet. We're about to. You get it for opening this chest right here, I believe. No, maybe one of the ones down there. And all the different kinds of chests will have different odds for finding these Buried Histories books. This is a guardian or an elder chest, so it has tridents, which are actually very rare. It's crazy we got 2 of them right here. Can have ancient debris as well sometimes, I believe. So these are going to be your main loot ones. Potions of night vision, which is really nice. I think potions of water breathing can be found in some of these, maybe some of the more common ones. I believe there are 8 of these books. Let's take a look here and see. Yes, there are 8 of these books that you can collect to get the full story. If we come down here into the lower foundation, oh, that's interesting. I wonder how that happened, these weird air pockets. We got another Elder Guardian, of course, and then this chest down here, which is another Elder chest. You've got some ancient debris, trident again, enchanted books, other cool stuff. So those are going to be your really good loot chests. When you find the Elder Guardians, you're going to find cool loot. This is a pretty standard, or an empty, I should say, tower piece, because it is a branch, so it expands that way. Up here we've got another Elder Guardian, as well as another Elder chest, and a boss chest. I believe that's the one that gives us the advancement, or perhaps not. I'll have to see why that advancement isn't being given. Maybe it's for... No, it can't be for killing this, because I've already killed one. Maybe I have to be in survival. I don't know. This is a boss chest, so this is only going to be found in these topmost roof structures, which are not terribly common, but the idea is that they should be. So it's going to have your ancient debris, lapis lazuli blocks, some of the more rare buried history books, and can sometimes have netherite tools or armor. So really powerful stuff in these endgame biome structures. Let's see, we'll go along this branch right here. This is a really interesting tower piece that I'll let you kind of explore on your own. We've got another chest in here with, again, another Buried Histories volume. If we keep going up, oh, looks like I got the same one right here. And you can see sometimes the top of the structures will end without a top piece, without a roof piece. So finding those boss chests can be fairly rare sometimes. If we come along this branch, I believe we'll have another roof, yes. And that's gonna have, oh my gosh. Wow, that is really good. Wow. If that didn't convince you to come take a look at these buried or ancient towers, I don't know what will. That is something. And then, yeah, another Elder chest. So really powerful, really cool endgame structures to come and explore here in the Buried Ocean, in the ancient sea biome. Let's see if we can find another one just to kind of give you another example of how differently they can generate from each other. But otherwise, this is pretty much the end of the line. We have explored all the biomes, taken a look at all the structures. There's different kinds of shipwrecks, obviously, but they're all basically the same in terms of loot. And yeah, I think that is all that is currently existing in the Buried Ocean in terms of generation. But of course, there's still lots to do here when it comes to the Seafarers expansion, starting your own ship fleet here in this dimension. So we will go over that in the next Dev Diary video. There's lots to do and lots of cool new stuff that wasn't in the pre-release prior to 1.17. So I hope you'll stick around and take a look at that when that Dev Diary comes out. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like and share with your friends, as well as subscribe to keep an eye on when that new video comes out. Here we go. We're going to be doing all kinds of new cool stuff as part of New in Town and this channel. Now that the 1.16 Let's Play has ended, I'll be doing some more speed running at some point here. We'll of course have more Dev Diaries as more new stuff still needs to be gone over or else gets added in the future. So definitely keep an eye on the channel to see all kinds of new cool videos and content related to New in Town moving forward. Also remember to bug your favorite YouTubers to play New in Town, because that would be super duper cool. There's definitely all kinds of cool stuff to explore, whether they want to do just one video or a whole series. I think that would be just absolutely amazing. So thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.